The man charged with killing Bellamy Gamboa now admits he pushed the Virginia Beach mom down the stairs and choked her until she died. That information came out as Lamont Johnson appeared in court today. Gamboa was reported missing July 1st. 13 News Now reporter Megan Puryear is in studio with the latest developments in this case.
David, we learned that Johnson admitted to not just killing Gamboa, but moving her body as well. And it all came out today in court documents.
Lamont Johnson is charged with murder in the second degree in the death of his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Bellamy Gamboa. Family and friends have searched for the mother of four for a month now. 40-year-old Gamboa disappeared July 1st, and now police say that's when she died. According to court documents, Johnson admitted to killing Gamboa. Johnson says he fell on top of Gamboa after pushing her downstairs, and the two began arguing. That's when Johnson says he choked her until she died. Johnson says he put her body in a bag and drove it over to Chesapeake. But police still haven't found her body. This isn't the first time the two had an argument. In court, we found Gamboa filed 2 complaints against Lamont in 2017. Both of those were dropped. They involved assault. In court documents from March 5th, Gamboa says Johnson grabbed her while she held a baby and pushed her down, threatening to kill her. She called 911, but according to court documents, didn't press charges because she was scared he would hurt their 2 children. A similar incident happened just 2 days later on March 7th. In that case, Gamboa reportedly didn't press charges on Johnson for fear it would make him angrier. Investigators say Johnson admitted to killing Gamboa when questioned about other charges over their twins. Johnson is also charged with 4 counts of contributing delinquency abuse of a child on July 2nd and 3rd against the twins he shared with Gamboa.